Hey everyone, ready to make your presentations pop visually?
Oh, yeah, you bet.
We're going to be diving deep into the design principle of proximity today.
That's right.
Now, before you tune out thinking this is going to be some boring design lecture,
Yeah.
it's not.
No way.
It's all about making your message clearer and more engaging just by how you group things on your slides.
Yeah. Yeah, like, have you ever thought about, like, a lot of people think design is about aesthetics, making things pretty, but it's really about communication.
Okay, so, like, even if I'm not a designer,
Right.
do people really, like, notice these little things?
Yeah, they totally do, even subconsciously.
Oh, interesting.
Think about it when you go to, like, a grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel overwhelmed even though there are tons of products.
Right.
That's because they're organized, you know?
Okay.
Well, the same thing applies to your slides. When you group related items together, you're creating like a visual hierarchy.
Oh, so it's like I'm giving the audience a roadmap.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Ivory.
Yeah, guiding their attention, making it easy to connect the dots.
I like that.
Like, let's say you're doing a product launch.
Okay.
You got a slide with a picture of your new gadget, the name and a description.
Right.
If you scatter those all over the slide,
Yeah.
the message gets lost.
Yeah, it does.
But if you group them together close, boom, it becomes like one unified story.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like, I don't know, hearing a jumbled sentence versus a well-structured one.
Right.
Your brain just processes it so much better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that smooth processing, that's what you want.
Right.
Because when your audience can grasp the information quickly,
Right.
they're more likely to stay engaged, remember what you're saying,
Right.
and ultimately be persuaded by your message.
So it's not just aesthetics. It's actually about making a bigger impact.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like
It's
it.
about respecting your audience's time and attention.
By using proximity effectively, you're making your presentation more user-friendly.
Okay, starting to see the light here.
Good.
But what about the space between those groups?
Okay.
How much is too much? How little is too little?
It's like Goldilocks, you know? You want to find just the right amount. Think of a paragraph in a book.
Yeah.
If the lines are too close together, it feels cramped and hard to read, too much space, and you kind of lose the sense of flow.
Okay.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where elements have room to breathe, but still feel connected.
Okay, I can visualize that.
Yeah.
But what about those slides that are packed with information?
Oh, yeah.
Like charts and graphs. Those can be like a nightmare to design.
Yeah.
Even without worrying about proximity.
Totally. You're right. Charts and graphs can be tricky, but the thing is proximity can actually help make complex data more digestible. It's like you're visually prioritizing things.
Right.
You're telling the audience, hey, look here first.
Oh, so instead of like drowning in data, it's like I'm giving them a life preserver.
Exactly. Like, let's say you've got a bar graph showing sales figures over the last year.
Right.
Instead of those data labels floating around like lost balloons, make sure they're right next to the bars they represent.
Good point.
And if you want to highlight a specific trend, use color or bolding to make it stand out.
That makes sense. I've definitely been in presentations where I'm like squinting, trying to figure out what goes with what.
Yeah.
It's so distracting.
It totally breaks the flow.
Yeah.
And it makes you question the data instead of the message.
Right.
Yeah.
So clear labels, close proximity, and some highlighting. Got it.
Yeah.
What about other elements on a slide, though?
Okay.
Like bullet points or images.
Bullet points are a classic example where proximity can make a huge difference. First, resist the urge to cram everything together.
Okay.
Give those bullet points some space to breathe.
So more white space.
White space is your friend. It's strategic. It helps guide the eye and prevent things from feeling cluttered.
Right.
Then think about how you can group those bullet points visually. Let's say you have a list of features and benefits.
Right.
Instead of presenting them as one big block of text, group the features together and the benefits together.
I like that.
Maybe even use different colors or icons to visually separate them.
That makes it so much easier to like scan and remember.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And remember, proximity applies to images and icons too. Think of visuals as having their own gravitational pull.
Okay.
They naturally draw the eye.
Yeah.
So you want to be strategic about what you place near them. If you're highlighting a key benefit on a slide, place an icon representing that benefit right next to the text.
Makes sense.
It creates a visual connection that makes the message stick.
Yeah, it's like I'm not just presenting information, I'm telling a story with my slides.
Exactly, creating a visual journey.
I like that.
That's both informative and engaging.
Okay, so we've talked about the do's of proximity. What about the don'ts? What are some common mistakes people make?
One of the biggest mistakes is not using enough space.
Okay.
People try to cram too much information onto one slide, thinking they need to show everything at once.
Yeah.
But less is often more.
Right. How do we know when we've crossed the line from just enough to too much?
Try the squint test.
Okay.
Squint your eyes and look at your slide. If you can't immediately pick out the most important elements, it's probably too cluttered.
Okay.
Simplify group, give those elements some breathing room.
Gotcha.
Another common mistake is inconsistent spacing. Like if the spacing between your bullet points is all over the place, it creates visual chaos. It's like a song with an erratic beat. It just feels off.
So visual rhythm matters.
It totally does. Consistency creates a sense of harmony.
Okay.
It makes your presentation feel more polished and professional.
And while we're talking about consistency, what about like too many fonts or font sizes?
Yeah. Don't use too many different fonts or font sizes on one slide.
Okay.
It's overwhelming.
Makes sense.
And makes it hard to figure out what's important.
So sticking to a limited font palette actually can help with proximity.
It's all connected.
Wow.
By keeping your typography simple, you're creating more visual breathing room.
Right.
And it lets the relationships between elements shine through.
This is making me rethink how I approach presentations.
Yeah.
It's like learning a secret language.
It is a visual language.
Yeah.
And once you learn that language, you can use it to communicate more effectively.
Right.
Websites, reports, even social media posts.
Yeah, true.
Proximity can make anything you create clearer, more engaging, more impactful.
Wow. I'm seeing the world differently now.
I know, right?
It's amazing how such a simple principle can have such a big impact. So we've been talking about proximity on slides.
Right.
But is this something that goes beyond presentations?
Oh, absolutely.
Huh.
Think about a website that you like using. Chances are they're using proximity well to guide your eye and make it easy to find stuff. The menus all grouped together. Contact information is easy to find.
Right.
And the content's laid out in a way that just feels intuitive.
Yeah, it's like walking into a well-organized room.
Exactly.
Everything's in its place, and it's easy to get around.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, it's not just digital. Think about a well-designed magazine.
Okay.
Or even how products are arranged in a store window.
That's true.
It's all about creating those visual relationships.
Yeah.
To draw the eye and make things easier to understand.
This has been a real eye-opener. I'm going to start paying more attention to proximity everywhere I go.
You'll start seeing it everywhere.
Oh, I bet.
Once you're aware of it, you can't unsee it.
That's probably true.
And the more you understand it, the more you can use it to your advantage in your own work and in life.
Well, I'm feeling inspired to go back and like revamp some of my old presentations.
Yeah.
Maybe even my website.
That's the beauty of design principles. They give you new tools to create things that are not only more beautiful, but more effective and engaging.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. Any final thoughts on proximity?
Just remember, good design is about communication.
Yeah.
And proximity is one of the most powerful tools you have to make sure your message is heard loud and clear.
Awesome advice. So to all our listeners out there,
the
next time you're creating anything visual, a presentation, a report, even an email, think about proximity. Use it to level up your communication and make an impact.
And don't be afraid to experiment.
Right.
Have fun with it.
Yeah.
The more you play with proximity, the better you'll get at using it.
Thanks for joining us for this insightful conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until next time, keep those creative juices flowing.
Yes.
And remember the power of proximity.